I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Tuesday Night Shock TNT series. My name is Kylo Ciacelli, and tonight I'll be joined by my color commentator, Kevin Smalley, as Chris Graham. A little under the weather this week, so he's going to be taking a week off. You rest up, buddy. It's well deserved. So, Kevin, I'll come to you as we just wind down on our practice session here. Lucas Oil Raceway Park, the scene of the Strength of Field race last Thursday night. What do we think we're going to be expecting from this one?
Well, hopefully we can see a lot of the clean racing that the guys have really started to show over the last several races. It can catch you out and turn into a big one for being such a small track, though. The slight progressive banking really encourages a lot of wall riding, and that can turn into a big one real quick when it's harder to dive inside. Hopefully it stays nice and clean and we can see a great run to the end.
Yeah. Just going to be going through a little bit of the pack here as we wind down on our practice session. Currently West Shire up at the top of the board on a 19.389. These guys are already running quicker than they were on Thursday. I believe the fastest lap in Thursday night's race was a 19.4. So these guys are flying in practice here as we're just winding down here.
Super tight pack too. We're covered by a tenth of a second across the top 6 guys right now. So I think we're going to have a real cracker here.
Yeah, qualifying definitely going to be interesting as we get into this one. We'll talk about the racing that we're going to be witnessing tonight. 50 minutes in total, a timed session, not a lap count. So we will just run out a clock down to 50 minutes. Should make this a 2-stop race at minimum with the 50% fuel tank that these guys are running. And barring any caution flags or anything, don't think that 2-stopper is really going to be possible around here. You do need to keep up the momentum and really stay on the throttle to keep up in this circuit. We will have cautions. They will be single file restarts on those cautions, no passing on the inside lane. And yeah, so fuel window is going to be out 40 to 60 laps. 2 stops will be required. And the time lost in pit lane, a big one there. 2 laps you will lose in green flag conditions. Taking a look at the point standings for the TNT Shock Series, Andrew Barry going to be up top at 175. West Shire in second place. The only one really with the chance to close down that gap, the way Andrew's been driving, 16 points back. Jace Millen, James Watson, and Simon Fell round out the top 5. And just looking through the table, I actually haven't seen Andrew Barry set a lap time yet. I'm not sure if he is in the stats.
Yeah, that could be some drama. That as I understand, the Team Barry transporter is only supposed to be making it to the track seconds before qualifying. And there was an iRacing update today that I think he's got to install to get in. So I see him here in the entries list, though. So hopefully we'll see him on track. And but to your point, no warm-up time. He's going to be going straight into qualifying and then launching into the race. So we'll have to see if he can get towards the front of the field. Maybe not having any warm-up qualifies him further back than what his pace might be. And it's always a dangerous game when you're qualifying back in the pack. Like I said, there's a chance of a big one here. and hopefully I'm not a commentator cursing him, but it's something to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely something to look out for. The way that this racetrack runs, super one-lane preference. The outside line is the line you want to use. You really have to compromise your lap if you want to try and make it past the inside. Losing all the momentum and having no real corner exit speed just doesn't allow for much passing here. So, going to be interesting. Qualifying is going to be super tight, as always, and super important for getting that track position. Just riding on board now, Zachary Nuremberg, as he's doing a few laps left. About 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes now left in the session. Yeah, look at that, the old 2009-2010 Renault Formula One paint scheme. That's one we haven't seen in a long time there. Odd one to see on an Indy Pro car, but we'll take it there.
It's not a Red Bull livery, so maybe we'll be okay. Generally, F1 liveries. Here we go. Commentator's curse right there.
This is Crashgate 2022, everybody. Watch out.
Hey, I was looking at a quick check of the virtual weather that we have here tonight. Partly cloudy, 66 degree Fahrenheit, air temperature 69 degree Fahrenheit track. That'll help explain our faster times that we're seeing here. It's going to be really gripped up. And to your points about pit strategy earlier, if you're going faster, that means you're on throttle even more. It's going to be even harder to save fuel tonight. So without cautions, I think you were dead on with your comments earlier there, Kyle.
Yeah, so as the drivers now, most of them in the pit lane, just going to be going through the driver's briefing here. Nothing really of note. The pit entry is right off of the backstretch anyways, so you will be ducking down out of turn 2 to get onto pit road. So there should be no confusion there. Nice and separated pit entry point there, so we won't see any drama. Pit exit, however, is a little bit tighter, so you got to watch out while you're running around that bottom line. Don't get caught out going too far up onto the banking, as practice is now coming to a close.
If we do have green flag stops, there's a fair chance of some pit speeding penalties. There's a lot of time to be gained on that pit in, especially, and the more aggressively you go for it, the more chance of costing yourself big time. So that'll be another thing to watch out for if we see somebody all of a sudden drop down during a green flag pit stop cycle. They might have gotten a penalty of some kind.
So here we go. Qualifying is underway. We'll be getting out there. A few drivers already getting on track. We're going to pick up West Shire, fastest in P1, as they come through now. 1 out lap and then 2 flying laps to get up to speed here. Picking up West Shire on the left, Vic Aldrich on the right. Both of these guys super quick. We'll pick it up now. Again, riding that outside line, keeping nice and close to the wall, keep the momentum. A little bit conservative from Vic there. He's diving way down into the middle of the track. See if it works out for him. They're going to start crossing the line. Times are going to start coming in. Aldrich is going to go to the top lap 1, 19.81. West Shire not too far behind. But here comes the rest of the pack. Simon Fell's jumping up. He's got a fast lap going. He's on lap number 2. Times are going to keep coming down now. Dave Sparks put in his first lap. Over the line they go. West Shire's going to go to a 19.5 on lap 2. Here come the rest. Jason Owens, Simon Fell. Simon's not going to improve. 19.56 there. Nee Camargo coming in with a 19.57. He jumps up the 3rd quickest. Jason Owens looks like he's staying 4th. James Watson goes 5th fastest, 19.75. See if anybody else is making some time up here. Steven Thompson now coming across the line. He goes. He's going to go into last position at the moment, P13. We've got Robert Drew on the right-hand side of your screens. He was super quick the last time out. So we'll look for him to maybe set a quicker time here. Stephen Thompson comes around to complete lap number 2. He's going to go to 11th quickest and up into the 19s, 19.95 for Thompson. Nuremberger now will be one of the last cars to be on track here. Looking at Robert Drew's time as he comes across the line now, 19.91. And that's going to be his time. Nuremberger now coming across the line. He's currently P15. Can he improve? He can. Yes, he will. Go up to P14 at 20.18. So
we've got Andrew Berry still in the pits, and we've got 2 minutes of qualifying left. We'll see what happens there.
For Andrew Berry, he's got just under 2 minutes remaining here. Only takes about maybe a minute 15 seconds to complete your qualifying run, just because of the very short lap times. But he is slowly running out, and there he is. Andrew Berry is loaded in. He is on his out lap now, coming out of the pit lane. There he is on your screens. What timing from Andrew Berry with a minute and 30 seconds left. The field gets to watch him as he tries and goes for pole here. His first laps of the circuit tonight, fresh into the cockpit. And here he goes. No pressure, sir. The points leader coming into tonight, 16 points on Westshire. We'll see what he does. He's going to come around turn 3 and 4 now. Lap number 1 going to be in the books. We'll see where he goes.
Still down the field, but only his first lap. He's currently in 12th, but I fully expect his second lap will be the banker here.
Here we go now, out of turn 3 and 4. Fast lap completed for Andrew Berry. And he's going to go to 4th quick, 19.647 on the timer. That's going to be the outside of row number 2 for Andrew Berry. So with no practice, he's immediately up on the pace. Not surprising, coming from our championship leader.
Yeah, even though if I'm Wes and Simon on the front row, if I see Andrew come in cold and still put it 4th on the second row, I'm going to be scared of him tonight.
So as they wrap up now, qualifying session has ended, and to the grid the drivers will go. We're going to start 50 minutes of racing here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And interesting with the preferred line here being towards the outside. Certainly you always have an advantage as the pole sitter, even though you're going to be lining up on the inside, because you get to choose the restart timing of the field to some degree. But Andrew in 4th, that's all but as good as 3rd.
All right, so here we go through your starting lineup. Westshire going to be on pole with a 19.553. Simon Fell on the outside of row number 1. Good lap from Simon. We'll see if he can stay up there. Nick Camargo, another quick qualifier on the inside of row 2. Andrew Berry, our points leader, on the outside. Michael Long in P5. He's going to be driving the number 21 machine. Look for him to keep up there. Jason Owens, another championship contender, and one to watch for the win, as always, on the outside. James Watson in 7th place. And Jason Paydu on the outside. Vic Aldrich, Peter Donchak rounding out the top 10. Robert Drew will be starting in P11. Dave Sparks, the 00 car, in P12. Stephen Thompson, number 13 position. Shane Holstein will be in P14. Final row of the grid, Zachary Nuremberger on the inside and Rick Cleary on the outside in P16. One thing looking through that telemetry there, only 0.7 of a second from first to last there. Short track racing is close, but I think these guys make it a little bit closer here in these Indy Pro 2000 cars.
Yeah, great effort for sure from all the drivers in the field. And this cool track, it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be nice and gripped up. Hopefully, we don't see too many spontaneous spins, at least related to track condition anyway. And I think we're going to be in for a really great show here.
So here we go, the field lining up. Westshire going to be your pole sitter, but on that unfavored inside line, so we'll see what kind of a jump he gets. Pace car lights are off as they come around turn 3. Shire going to be keeping that pace speed, looking to bunch him up, and he's gone. We are underway at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and as always, race fans, lap 1 is all yours. So Westshire's going to be leading lap number 1, but here comes Andrew Barry on the inside of Simon Fell. They're close. Oh, and they almost get touched to the wall. Simon's going to back out of that. Andrew Barry already up into position 2. He's going to be trying to make a move. Wes is trying to run away before he can get to him. Back in the pack, Nick Margot still going to be running in 4th. And he's got Jason Owens looking to his inside, but not close enough to make the move as of yet. Running through the rest of the field, Michael Long, P6, and James Watson in P7, where he started. Vic Aldrich behind them. Owens is still looking to the inside here. But as we said, Kevin, in that pre-show, there's not much room for passing on the inside here.
No, and I'm shocked how well the field has gotten into single file and also spread out a pretty good deal pretty quickly. Wes with that big jump there really got him checked out, but very surprised on P2 through P8 or so, getting in line as quickly as they have.
So up front, Westshire and Andrew Barry setting the pace at a 19.6 last time by. Simon Fell P3, a 19.78. So those guys up front are flying and pulling away. We have already seen Andrew Barry lap all but 3 cars. This might be another one of those races if we go green. The leader's catching lap traffic relatively quickly. Could put a lot of cars a lap down early.
Traffic is tough to manage here. If you're somebody being lapped, you're struggling between, do I try to stay in the high line to preserve my race and also give myself the best speed so I don't completely bottle them up in the corner? Or do I try to get low and get out of the way? It's not an ideal spot to be in, especially if there's any kind of nonverbal miscommunication between drivers and the lapped car is going low to try to get out of the way. At the same time, the person catching them is also diving low to make a pass. It can end in tears. Hurry.
Yep, so we're looking at the closest battle on the racetrack right now. It's going to be Nick Margot, P4, Jason Owens, P5. Just behind them as well, Michael Long and James Watson were going at it a little bit there, but the field relatively spread out here. Not too much in terms of lap time difference, though. I say that, though, as Andrew Barry puts in a 19.43, almost a tenth and a half quicker than Westshire. He's right on his bumper now. He's caught up, and he's going to be looking to make the move going into turn number 3.
You can see Watson trying to get low and get underneath. It's just so much harder being on that unpreferred line. I noticed Jason Owens doing somewhat the same thing. Yeah, you can see it there on the left, flashing through the corners. Both Watson and Jason Owens trying to peek their nose down low to find a way past these guys in front of them, but no luck so far. I think both those guys are faster than the cars that are in front of them right now. It's hard to get by, though.
Definitely looks that way. Just cannot find a quick enough way by. Andrew Barry forcing the issue a little bit there with Simon Fell. Kind of got that move completed, whereas he wasn't really clear up until the point where Simon felt like, I don't want any more part of this. I'm happy in P3 for now. But yeah, James has been hustling Michael here for the past 10 laps or so now, and just cannot get by him. No real way to go. And unfortunately, the pit window is kind of narrow here, so you don't really have that opportunity to pit in early and try and dodge out on traffic, as everybody's got to relatively be within the few laps of each other here. So we'll see how that winds up. Andrew Berry still hustling West Shire, but not really making a move at this point. Doesn't look like he's going to be committing to a move too early. At just under 5 minutes into this race, we are still have plenty of racing to go. So just looking through the field again, just trying to see really biggest mover of the race so far, Zachary Nuremberg, down in P12. He's picked up 3 spots though, and he's moved up there, so making some space up in the back of the pack. Robert Drew is up a couple, up to P9, and Andrew Berry, as noted before, up into second place after starting fourth and only having a couple of laps of practice. Looking like Vic Aldrich and, Robert Drew and Jason Pedu are going to be hustling each other a little bit back in the pack as well. As there we pick up that battle now on the left-hand side of your screen. Robert Drew on the outside in the white car, Jason Pedu on the inside in the blue car with the yellow stripes. But again, that move to the inside, you can get alongside, but it's very difficult to complete that pass onto the exit of the corner with that momentum the outside lane has.
Yeah, and you also have to think about the long-term game too. I was going to say this when we were seeing Watson be a lane to a lane and a half lower than his competitor for 10 plus laps. You have to protect yourself for the end of the run too, or you're going to be dropping places. So these long fuel runs, tires could turn into an issue. We're looking at a 62 to 64 lap fuel run if we go green the whole time, and that's on a short track like this, you can really burn up your tires, especially the right front.
Yeah, thinking about 50% or so is what we were running at after 70 laps in the official races. A little bit warmer on the track test though, so the cooler temperatures might help them a little bit with the tire wear, but still, they do want to be looking after that. Make sure they're not losing time without due cause here, as we still see Andrew Berry tucked right up under the wing of West Shire, but he's not making a move. He's not committing to anything here. He's just sticking in line, and I think he might just be waiting for West to do something here, because really they're pulling away at the front of the field. Simon Phelps still tagging along in third place, still under a second behind them, but they're consistently the fastest cars in the field, so nothing that they're doing is technically wrong at this point.
And seeing Andrew start, it seems like he has set worked pretty well, making a couple of passes on the cold tires. So this could be a waiting game for him of, it's going to be easier for me to pass Wes on cold tires than it is for me to pass him on warm tires. So that could be let's just wait for a while, see if we get a caution, and I'll make my move then. I see him dipping low, but that could just be to keep air on the front of the car, make sure that he gets doesn't get too much aero wash and hurt those tires. I haven't driven here for a little while, whatever the last time Shock was here. Kylo, are you noticing a lot of aero wash or no when you were racing here in officials last week?
Not too much, honestly. It's pretty straightforward the way that the setup was as far as in traffic or out of traffic. There wasn't too much of a difference there. More about just how your car handled and how it took the turns at speed. You're at a high rate of speed consistently throughout the lap here. You're not dipping too much when you go into the corners. So just looking for a little bit of fresh air, maybe just looking to be able to see what's ahead of them and not follow into the wall or something like that, because that is very easy to do when you're right close behind a car. Easy to follow them into a wall and make a mistake. We haven't seen too much of that so far tonight, though. The outside barriers are looking pretty clean, and we'll keep an eye on that. But these Indy Pro 2000 cars are pretty tough, so they can take a beat down on the wall. As on your left-hand side of your screen, picking up Zachary Nuremberg, the back of this 4-car battle here. Robert Drew's going to be leading this line up front there. Jason Paydu, Peter Donchak, and Nuremberg at the back of this train. These are the 4 closest cars on the racetrack at this point, really. Everybody else spread out into either single car or 2-car packs at this point. So we're getting to that point now where everybody's finding their place or finding where they can go because of the passing situation here. It's hard to make up spaces once everybody's at speed.
Off screen, I've been watching the battle between Watson and Long a little bit. Seems like about Long just tapped the wall a little bit, but I think he's in good shape. Oh, I think Watson might be making a move here.
Yeah, here he goes to the inside. This could be his chance, but he's not going to get that momentum that you get on that outside lane. Long is going to keep the position for now. But as I alluded to before, the Indy Pro 2000, this Dallara chassis and everything that goes on with this car is super strong when hitting and pancaking the outside wall like that. Very difficult to break the suspension on a move like that. And with the wings being smaller than the outside of the tires as well, you don't really damage your front wing too often if you hit it right. So you can't get away with that here. You don't want to be, but you can.
Yeah, this is a track that sets you up well for hitting the wall square with your 2 right side tires, rather than say a turn 1 at Phoenix, for example, where if you get that a little bit wrong, you're at more of an angle. Much easier to rip off the right front corner. Here it's a little bit more forgiving. If you do tap the wall, it's generally going to be when you've got the car pretty well squared away and down the straight, and it's just going to be a little tap and probably not going to even knock anything out of alignment, much less rip off a corner.
I'm just going to get my sponsorship straight up here. It is Tatis who provides the chassis, not Dallara, for the Indy Pro 2000. I know I'm going to get that email in the morning. Sorry about that, boss. We continue on here. Simon Fellows started to catch back up to the leading 2 here. He's closed that gap down from about 8/10 of a second down to about 6/10, and really just back in line now with Andrew Berry and Wes Shire. So it looks like Wes Shire's a little bit of a cork in the bottle here. Simon Fell might be quicker than him too. Just nowhere to go to get around him. And as we see, the leaders are just going to be coming up to their first lap traffic as they come around the outside of Rich Cleary there. He's going to stay nice and low on the racetrack, not on the preferred line. And he's been doing that all night, so good on him for keeping out of these guys' way. And just looking back at the timing table, Zachary Nuremberg up 6 positions. He's into P9, so we need to maybe take a look back at the replays and see if something happened there, because he jumped up 2 or 3 spots there within a couple of minutes' time. He's made up a huge amount of space, up 6 positions. Stephen Thompson is following him through now. He's up another 3 spots as well. So the battle for 9th through 12th or 13th is getting pretty spicy here, as there's about 5 cars in that battle now. As that all is happening about 12 or 13 seconds behind your race leader, Wes Shire. Picking up Robert Drew in P11. He's got Peter Donchak right behind him now. So it looks like Drew might have been the cork in the bottle there, because he was up in P9 ahead of both Stephen Thompson and Zachary Nuremberg. And as you can see, they have driven away from Drew and Donchak here. So Robert Drew fading back in the pack a little bit. It's going to be causing some grief for these cars behind him. Yeah, you can see it there. Still 4 cars stacked up behind him here at the back of the field. I
wonder if he's running a little bit lower line than in 3 and 4 than a lot of the field would prefer. Not so low on that last lap, but the time before he was quite low. Don't know if that was a proactive defensive move or if that's been his normal line. But if he's preferring that lower line, that could very easily turn into a cork in the bottle for everybody. But maybe we've got a move here. No, see, again, once you get that outside drive, it's really, really tough to both give people space and still get that good drive off the corner that you need in order to pull ahead of them by the end of the straight.
Yeah, he's right there. Every corner exit, just not close enough to get it done. Another update on track for you. Jason Owens has got around Nick Margot for the 4th position. As we see again, Donchak's going to be looking to the inside here. Robert Drew, they're equal coming through corner entry, but then on exit, look at the speed loss on the inside. He's going to drop a spot, and now it's going to be Jason Pedu who is in. And as we see Vic Aldrich, it looks like Vic Aldrich is coming down pit lane. So the pit window should be open now. So he should be able to make it. So this should be the first of what are scheduled green flag pit stops here. So we'll keep an eye on Vic, see where he comes out after the cycle. He was running in position 8 before that, so we'll see where he ends up. But if we do get a caution flag, he is 2 laps down on the field, as there goes Wes Shire, Andrew Berry, and Simon Fell, who are up to speed and in the racing groove.
Going back to that action we were just watching with Drew and Donchak, Donchak making that move low, I think he probably got his tires a little bit warm, might have had a little bobble running that unfamiliar line, and that's the risk you run when you're running in a bit of a pack. Do I want to be aggressive and try to make this pass, and what's the price I'm going to pay for it? Now he's got 2 guys to pass instead of just the one that he was trying to do, and he's actually fallen back a little bit. So I think he's had to take a little bit of a breather here these couple laps, get his tire temperatures back under control, and good news for him, these guys are still fighting too wide and have a good chance to keep up with them. Meanwhile, here comes the leader.
Yeah, Jason Paydu is going to be looking to the inside of Robert Drew, and in the background, Wes Shire, Andrew Berry, and Simon Fell are making their way through this traffic. Right behind these 2 side-by-side cars is your leader, Wes Shire. So he's going to be trying to make his way through here and not lose too much time. Berry got held up a little bit by traffic, and Simon Fell as well has dropped back a little bit. Berry's still behind Peter Donchak. Wes Shire going to be into the inside. He will make it through as Andrew Berry as well gets through Donchak. Oh, and Drew just cuts down a little bit there as Andrew Berry was looking to his inside. Don't like to see that, but he did have enough space there to make that work. Simon Fell now going to be working through these guys as Donchak is caught right back up to the back of Paydu. Well, that was super close on the exit there. Simon Fell, see how uncomfortable he is on the bottom side of the racetrack. Guy comfortably running in 3rd, having a tough time passing the back markers in the preferred lane there. As, oh, Robert Drew hits the wall in front of him.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, that's these things you guys don't know coming up through the field. Robert Drew's been running a slightly lower line than all the other cars around him, and I think he recognized that he needed to give the leaders some more space on the inside when they're trying to go there. He got a half car higher than what he's used to doing, and he got himself into the wall. It's tough for everybody involved in these situations when somebody's coming through and both parties are having to run their not ideal line. Looks like he's pitting in here.
He is going to be coming down pit road. So Donchak did also scrape the wall a little bit there on the last lap, as now Jason Owens, P4, is going to be on the outside lane, who is now Dave Sparks directly behind Donchak. And there's Vic Aldrich, who has made his pit stop already, and he is running in line behind Jason Owens, but he is 2 laps down. Back up at the front, things have calmed down a little bit now that they've gotten through the traffic. Wes Shire out in front by over a second now, 1.2 seconds over Andrew Berry, up 2 spots from his starting position of P4. Simon Fell running in 3rd position, Jason Owens P4, Nick Camargo rounding out the top 5. Michael Long in P6, James Watson P7, Stephen Thompson, Zachary Nuremberg, both of those two. Stephen Thompson, 5 positions. Zachary Nuremberg up 6 positions. It's a very good run from those two to get themselves into the top 10. And running in that top 10, the last car in the top 10, the first car 1 lap down currently, Jason Paydu, as it looks like Nee Camargo now is going to be coming down pit road from 5th place. Well, he got in the wall, as we're being told, so we'll see if he's got damage to that car. Is Wes Shire. Wes Shire is going to be coming down pit road, so here we go. 20 minutes off the clock, and the leaders are going to be coming down pit road. So we'll see how this opens up. We'll see how much longer Andrew Berry can go, and we'll see if he can get a little bit of an advantage by staying out longer here. But he isn't. He's just going to be doing 1 extra lap. He's in now this time by.
I find it interesting on this pit rotation overall how a lot of our leaders running faster times seem to be doing also better fuel management than some of the cars further back in the field. You got Wes out and rejoining the track. We'll see where Andrew joins him in this next lap. Simon's still going strong.
Yeah, so around the outside of Wes goes Jason Owens. He is yet to pit. Vic Aldrich, although, has pit. He is running directly behind Wes Shire, but I think he's still an additional lap down. As there goes Andrew Berry on the inside. So Wes Shire does retain the lead of the race as Simon Fell, who was out in the lead, now dives down into pit road. So we'll see where Simon can come out into all this. Wes came out into a bunch of traffic. He's got Nuremberg up in front of him here. He's going to dive it down to the inside. Jason Owens is going to be your new leader now as they run, yet to stop.
I didn't see what Jason's gap was before everybody started hitting on pit rotation. Very interested to see where Simon works through here too, with Wes having to manage so much traffic here.
Okay, so there is Simon on
he's
the inside.
He's by.
Yeah, Wes and Andrew are both going to gain a sizable amount on Simon Fell there. Simon's coming around on the pit exit. You can see him there just at the back of shot. Jason Owens, your leader though, running to the inside of Michael Long there. And coming around the start-finish line now. So, waiting for Jason Owens to make that turn into pit road.
Lap. Yep, I heard on team radio this lap.
So we'll see. Andrew Berry as well, looking to the inside of Nuremberg there, trying to get through the traffic as Wes Shire is pulling back that gap that he has lost. Andrew Berry much closer now than they were before, as the last of the lap traffic is going to get out of the way. So we'll watch for Jason Owens on the blend back in. He was in P4 before the pit cycles started. So he is just at pit exit now, and he will be at least position 4 as Simon Fell is going to come around the outside of him as well. So Jason Owens retains position as well. Doesn't look like anybody really lost out. The only thing that might have happened, maybe Vic Aldrich lost out a little bit here. He's still running 1 lap down, but he was in the 8th or 9th position, so that checks out, really. Looks like he's only lost 1 to Zach Nuremberg. So the last couple of cars are going to be exiting pit road on this green flag stop, and that is it. Everybody has completed their cycle, and they are out. And the leaderboard looks pretty similar to how it did before. Wes Shire in front, Andrew Berry P2, Simon Fell, Jason Owens, and Nee Camargo, the top 5. The gap's a little bit different than what they were before. Andrew Berry only about half a second behind Wes. Simon 2 seconds back to the lead 2 now. Jason Owens is... Oh, and a yellow flag. Yellow flag on the racetrack. Looks like Robert Drew and Shane Holstein had an incident here. So we'll take a look. Holstein in the 51 on the outside hits the wall and just, takes out Drew. Wow, wrong place, wrong time there for Robert Drew as he gets caught up in Shane's accident. And that's going to bring out the yellow flag. And I don't think that really helps or hurts anybody here. I think we still need 1 more stop guaranteed. So doesn't really change much on our pit strategy. It's the guys we were just talking about. They just did a full official race distance under green flag conditions, 1 lap left.
Interesting choice from Jason Owens hitting the pits.
Yeah, so Jason Owens, James Watson, and are going to be hitting down pit road. Back of the lead Back of the lead lap of the cars, though, so they won't really lose many positions. They'll both lose a spot.
Also hearing Thompson on pit road.
Well, we'll check in with our race leader here. Wes Shire up in the front of the pack. You've been leading every lap of the race so far. Wes, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I love this track, and I think I found something thanks to a little outside help. So, yeah, good race so far. Probably a little bit less good if I was further back in the back, but hey, I like being up here. It's a nice place to be.
Are you a little bit scared when Andrew was already on your rear bumper within about 5 laps in the start there? Were you thinking it was going to be a long one?
A little bit. I think I have him outmatched on right front wear, though. Just a hunch. So hopefully we keep that up. Hopefully we get a little less traffic on the outlap there. That was a little concerning, but yeah, overall, it's, looking forward to the rest of this one.
Yeah, so we only had 7 cars on the lead lap here. You lapped the rest of the field there, so everybody's going to be running back in queue. Everybody's jumped back in, so you're going to have another green flag run here. Only have about 10 laps or so on the tires, so don't think that should hurt you too much. Thanks a lot, Wes, for coming in and talking to us under the caution flag, our first caution flag of the night. As we're just going to continue pacing. I believe it should be 1 to go this time by, and it is as the lights come off on the iRacing pace car.
We saw Andrew Berry at the start of this race make those moves on cold tires. It'll be interesting to see here if he goes for it against Wes. Of course, we just heard Wes say he thinks he's got something on him, especially for the longer runs on right front rear. So it should be. If I was already picking up on that, if I was Andrew, I would absolutely be trying to make a move right now, because I know I can't stick with him on the long runs. So if Wes is right about his assessment, we'll have to see how it plays out.
So here we go, Wes Shire. First time he's going to have the preferred line on the restart. He's going to hit the gas pedal, and he's going to take off a big jump on Andrew Berry's. Andrew almost hits the outside wall there as they take off. So we'll pick it up now as, it looks like, it's just on track getting out of the way there as the rest of the field's coming through. So we cut out.
Nice gentlemanly move there for the guys a lap down, moving out of the way the best they can to let Jason and James come back through. Hearing some radio traffic between the teams.
Here we go. Andrew Berry be on the inside of Wes Shire there, but he cannot get that move done. He's looking to make it early here, but I think Wes knows as long as he holds that outside, Andrew's got nothing for him. We'll take a look here as we look back in the pack. Jason Owens, James Watson, the 2 on fresh tires. They came in again under the yellow flag, so they got about 10 laps fresher tires than the leaders at this point. But the leaders are still checking out from the rest of the field. Quick laps coming through, 19.6 is 4.2. Another yellow out on the track. And it looks like what was a good run for the number 11 of Zach Nuremberg may be coming to an end, as he's on the inside and, oh yeah, just loops it on exit. Very easy to do when you're on that inside line. Just giving a little too much gas and you'll lose that right rear. It'll come around on you. No damage on his car, but he's going to be dropped to the back of the line and hamper his progress a little bit.
And that's the struggle too, because when you're on that lower line, you have to go for every hundredth of a second if you're ever going to get by down there. So you're tempted into that throttle application that's just a little bit too much or a little bit too early, and that's what you can see happen there. So really tough for these drivers trying to make the moves on the lower line.
Okay, so checking in with car running in position 5 at the moment, Jason Owens. Jason, just a quick check. How are you on fuel for the end of the race?
I'm actually going to come and top off and be 100% good to go here. Not take tires at this stop. And to see how things shake out, because I can't believe, I know those guys are up front, but my failed out of Purdue math says that 20 liters from here gets you 21 minutes and you can make it to the end, so.
All right, man. Well, thanks for checking in with us. We will get that green or that yellow flag pit stop cycle underway again as Owens and Watson both once again coming down pit lane. Only two on the lead lap to do it.
Yeah, Dave Sparks and Peter Donchak also joining him.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, though. Kevin, based on what Jason was saying there, he didn't think he was safe, and he had 10 laps less of fuel burn. So these leaders up front might not make it to the end here. They might need another caution or two to help him out.
Totally agree. Now, the flip side of that coin is another 2 or 3 cautions, and all of a sudden they're back to the good again. So it's tough to say. We've also seen, we saw Simon Fell go, what, 3 or 4 laps longer than Andrew and Wes. And so maybe there's something there too.
Last time the leaders were down pit road, lap 60, lap counter for Jason Owens and James Watson when they came down pit road was lap 80. So 20 laps less. Is that Simon down pit road? Simon is coming down pit road, so he wasn't trusting it, and he's going to get a top up here as we line up, and it should be 1 to go this time by. So Simon's going to drop to the end of the line, but he is going to be good to go to the end of the race now, and in P7. But yeah, that's going to be costly for him, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to make up the track position now. He's got to go through the entire field to get any spots back.
I've been there, and it's so tough because you think to yourself, okay, I'm in third. I'm going to mirror what the leaders do. And then all of a sudden you have a lap or two of caution to think about it, and you go, no, I think the leaders made a terrible mistake here. So then what do? So you go back, and unfortunately he's going to be behind everybody now on the lead lap.
About to go green again. Westshire packing him up nicely. And there he goes. He's on the gas.
This is a better start for Andrew than we've seen.
Better start for Andrew. Good jump still for Wes, though. He gets himself a little bit of a breather. So they head down into turn 1. Everybody else is going to be single file, except for Peter Nuremberg. He's going to be down to the inside of Donchak and just miss out on making some contact there. As Andrew Berry's going to be closing in here on the exit of turn number 4. Going to be trying to look it for a run. This is where he was close to West last time. After a couple laps, he was right there with him, looking to the inside, but couldn't get that move done. We'll see what he does here.
If he's going to get it done, it's going to be in the next 1 to 2 laps.
Picking up Jason Owens, James Watson on the right-hand side of your screen, that bright yellow car of Watson, as those are the two who have stopped at lap 80. Stephen Thompson as well. We got to just mention him. Up 7 spots into P6. Great run from him.
Very nice run.
He's made up quite a few positions. Managed to stay on the lead lap. So still, we see Andrew Berry.
Tag the wall.
Tag the wall there on the entry into turn 2. And that's not going to hurt him too badly. That might actually help him turn the car a little bit better. I had a couple of fast laps hitting the wall, so either I'm doing something wrong or the walls aren't that slow. We'll see as they continue. He's still on the pace here. We got to talk about Nick Camargo, though, holding on to the back of them. He's up in the 3rd spot where he started the race, and looks like he's finally having a race where he can hold on to that qualifying pace he shows.
Yeah, that's excellent development from him. He's been dropping back pretty quickly compared to these leaders, but you make an excellent point. Makes you wonder, oh, we've got another yellow.
Another yellow comes out. Got trouble on the, I believe, is the front straightaway there. Dave Sparks is in the wall on the front straightaway. He is going to be getting back going, though. Yeah, just loses on the exit there. Hits the wall a little bit.
Great job of keeping it out of the main flow of traffic, though.
Yeah, keeping it down. I think he actually does hit the wall trying to get it back in a straight line, so he might have some front wing damage there. But Dave Sparks running down to the 13th position. He is the last car on the lead lap. And here we go again, Kevin. Now, I think they still need one more caution for these front 2 or 3 to be good here. I'm starting to really question it. And Jason, James, as Stephen Thompson's going to be coming in to the pits, Simon Fell, those guys that stopped at lap 80, they should be more than good enough to get to the end here. But the front 3, they're playing with fire here, keeping on staying out here.
Yeah, you're committed at this point. You know you're going to lose the 4 or 5 spots, and at this point in time, you might as well roll the dice. A few more cautions, and maybe it's a wise move. You know, the caution came out before I had a chance to say it, but we were watching that battle for the lead between Andrew and Wes, and it might have not even mattered if this had gone green. So check one off their checklist of how many cautions they need to have to make it on fuel, and they're happy to see this.
So we'll talk to the guy in P2, Andrew Barry. Missed a little bit of practice this morning and into the race session, Andrew, but how are you feeling? You're running in P2 comfortably all race. What do you think you got for Wes here going into the later stages of the race?
We'll see. I think he has me on pure pace. It really just depends on if either of us can make it to the end on fuel. Simon might have had the right call to pit there. I think really only Jason was probably good with the cautions, so we'll see. We'll see if either of us have enough to run out the race if we get a green run to the end. I think it'll be pretty close with where we're at right now.
And it looks like you've just been dumped as Nick Camargo is going to come down pit road. So you and Wes are committing to that one-stop strategy so far. So we'll see how you guys do. Thank you for checking in with us as always, Andrew. Man, so this is really changing the complexion of this race here. What can these guys do out in the front? Because here's trouble behind them. Jason Owens and James Watson with enough fuel confirmed to go to the end of the race directly behind the front 2. We haven't seen them this close before. No cars in between, so we can see what Jason and James have for the front 2 here in the later stages of the race.
We've had enough breaks here with cautions that even if they do end up not needing to stop, I can't imagine tires being too much of a problem with having a nice little break for a few laps, or I should say after a few laps of green. So tire wear shouldn't be as much of an issue. But again, that's what Wes thought his advantage over Andrew was, though you didn't hear Andrew being too confident about his overall pace in the recent interview we just had with him.
As we come back to the restart line once again, we've got the main TV pictures on your left. Andrew Barry's on board on your right. He's holding him a little bit longer this time. Wes Shire changing the game up. There he goes. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back out in the air. 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Barry got a nice exit out of turn 2. He's super close going into turn 3. Almost drove it into the wall, but he managed to keep it out of it. Meanwhile, behind them for P3, James Watson looking to the inside of Jason Owens. Can't quite get the nose in there. Barry to the inside of Wes Shire now on the left side of your screen. Can't get the move done on Wes. We've said it over and over. The passing is improbable here at best. And as long as you can keep that outside line, you should be able to hold position. Andrew Barry's got to think of something here to get around Wes Shire. Under 12 minutes to go now in this race.
Looks like the top 4 has fallen in the line. I think Jason had a great initial launch. Oh, we got Andrew going down.
Right to the inside of Wes Shire. He's centered with him, but again, Wes just has the exit on the outside lane, and he keeps the momentum. He can't get around him. It's going to take something really special here. But Andrew Barry either going to make a mistake himself or force Wes into one. There was almost one, just barely didn't hit the wall. Lost a little bit of time on entry, and there goes his chance in a turn 1 here.
And we've seen this time and time again. If Andrew Barry ever has a stronger car than Wes Shire, it's in laps 4 to 6. We're right there. and he's got to make those moves at that time and see if he can force Wes into a mistake. Wes has done this rodeo more than once, though. He's handling it with poise.
Yeah, Wes doing a great job of soaking up the pressure here, not letting Andrew get to his head and get him to make a mistake.
And notice what he's doing. He's going a little bit lower. That takes away all the best passing opportunities, because by the time that Andrew could try to make a move to the outside, West's natural movement will bring him back out right in front of him. So there's a no-risk strategy here to cover up just that half car width, especially on cold tires where a wiggle could get you into the wall.
Yeah, they're getting super racy up front here, and they're still pulling away from Jason Owens in P3, so these guys who need to save fuel are not caring about their fuel mileage at all at this point. They're running it to the bones trying to get past each other here.
I think you see a risk-reward situation here with the guys trying to go for the win. And also, the risk here is if they do end up, running out of fuel and needing to make a stop, you're probably only dropping back to about 7th, and maybe you can make a couple of places back, at least if there's a caution. 1942 lap for Barry.
Wow. 1942 and 1944 for Wes up front. They're flying, trying to keep each other away. And we are under 10 minutes now. 9 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here at Lucas Oil Raceway. These guys are flying. They're 2 seconds ahead of Jason Owens already after about 10 laps of running here since restart. They really do not care about the rest of the field. It is them putting on the show at the front. Trouble on the track for Rick Cleary. He spun out to the inside off the racing line and took the tow, so he is going to be in pit lane, and his race is going to be done. Only 3 cars showing as out of this race at this point. Shane Holstein, Robert Drew, and what will soon be Rick Cleary joining them. Another new fastest lap, though, up front for Andrew Barry. 19.397. Dipping into the threes now. The fastest laps of the racing week that we just had here and across the officials last week. These guys are flying, but he's got nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to go with Wes. He's placing his car perfectly, not allowing him to get through. This is a show for both of them here on offense and defense, really. You know what? We haven't got a chance. Maybe we should throw a crank it up session here just for the last couple minutes, just before the ending here. Let you guys hear these cars as these guys fly around and go for some hot laps. 7 minutes remaining in this race. Wes Shire, Andrew Barry, your top 2 battling it out for the win as they have been all night long. Nothing between them here. We'll give you a quick update on the rest of the field, just because really these are the only 2 cars that are remotely close to each other on track. P3 is going to be Jason Owens, up 3 positions from his start spot. Same thing with James Watson. He is up 3. Simon Fell in P5, down 3 spots. Nick Camargo, P6, down 3 spots as well. Stephen Thompson, last car on the lead lap in P7. He's up 6 spots from his starting position. Great run from him, as we mentioned before. Keeping on the lead lap here and gaining those spots. But the biggest mover of the race is going to be the first car 1 lap down, and the bringer of the first caution flag of the night, Zach Nuremberg. He is up into P8 up 7 spots, and the first car 1 lap down. Rest of the field as they run: Jason Paydu, P9, Michael Long in P10, Peter Donchak, Dave Sparks, Vic Aldrich, Robert Drew from 11th through 14th, and Rick Cleary, Shane Holstein are out of the race.
Kylo, I'm watching Andrews on board here. I think he's burnt up his tires with all that battling. I know when I've burnt my tires up here, I end up taking that lower line like Andrew's doing. I don't think I've been seeing him do that very often, especially not while battling Wes. And he's dipping down, 2.5 lanes below the wall, especially in turns 1 and 2. That's what I've done for having to manage overheated tires. So trying to cool it off a little bit with a brake there, and look, now he's already back. See, I think that was his plan. Babying the tires for a few laps. Now it's time to battle again. So I think we'll see it here, and if it's not fruitful, I think we'll see him back off for another few laps, and that'll be a run to the checkers.
And he keeps getting to that inside, but he can't do anything with it. Wes is putting on a show here at Lucas Oil Raceway. That's the closest they've been. Andrew really sending it there into turn 3, but again, he cannot keep it side by side across the start-finish line. Even if that's the move for the race, you got to keep it side by side onto the front stretch, and he's not even close. He's got to try and make that move stick somehow, some way, going down to the start-finish line.
I know Wes tends to like sets that are pretty loose, and that favors the wall riding here. And I think I run sets a little bit closer to Andrews, and there's a way you can diamond through 1 and 2. Really get a good launch onto the backstretch and try to throw it in here like he's doing now. Has he made it? He's making it stick. Wes coming back.
Andrew Barry down on the inside lane and back around, but Wes Shire comes right back on him.
He's going to throw it back in there, though. He got a good exit.
Here they come. They're side by side on corner entry. Wes on the high side and Andrew on the inside. Wes is going to keep the momentum. He can't clear him. That lap lead goes to Wes Shire, but Andrew Barry got the move done, but he couldn't keep it. And he's almost in the wall. May have touched it there just a little bit. He's going to keep dropping back. These guys are going for it. 3.5 minutes remaining.
That's the playbook for sure for him with this set. I see him trying to diamond the corner in 1 and 2, throw it down there through 3 and 4, and try to make it stick there in 1 or 2. Hopefully this time, if he can make it stick again, he'll have learned his lesson a little bit. He's got to get low there again in 1 and 2, try to diamond it again as much as he can to keep Wes behind him. I think that was discretion is the better part of valor there. Didn't want to have it end in tears for both of them.
Yeah, just going to mention that these guys have kept it clean all night long, and you hope to see that for the rest of it, but short track racing, at some point you might just start banging wheels. Here we go. He's on the inside going into turn 1. Wes keeps that high line. Andrew's going to have a little bit of a wiggle on the inside. They're still side by side on the exit. Wes is going to pull out a little bit of an advantage. Barry's going to send it down the inside of turn 3. They're side by side. They're still equal. Lap lead go to Wes Shire.
A little wiggle from Barry.
He cannot complete the pass. He can stay there, but he can't get it done. He really has to send it into the corner here. And with 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining, he's running out of laps to do it. He sends it into the corner, almost runs right into the back of Wes.
Andrew needs to get back to that plan that worked, which was, again, diamonding the corner in 1 and 2. I think he's onto it. Probably 2 or 3 laps of cooling the tires, and then 2 or 3 laps of mayhem to finish at the checkers.
They have enough fuel. Do they have enough fuel? These guys have been banging out lap times here consistently in the 19.5s. And again, they have not been to pit road for over 70 laps at this point. So they've done
5 seconds ahead of.
They're 5 seconds ahead of P3 at this point. They're flying. They don't care. They're throwing it into the wind. They must think they're good to go because there is nothing stopping these two right now. Andrew just takes a little look again in the inside of turn 3, but nothing doing. Just over.
This is the time. If he's going to get a good launch out of 1 and 2, this is the time.
he's going to need about a lap to totally complete the pass here because he needs both ends of the speedway really to do it. There he goes down to the inside in turn 3. He's going to check up, though, and Wes is going to drive right back around him on the outside. They're very close on the corner exit, keeping it clean, though. Under a minute to go now. What should be 3 laps left as they cross the line here now, if the timing is correct. We'll keep you updated on that, as here he goes again inside of turn number 3. Checks up a little bit up the racetrack and just loses that momentum. Good driving from Andrew there, because if he sends it, he's going right into the side of Wes, and they both crash there. So he knows that he needs to finish here, but he's not going to do anything dumb to throw away both the races here.
I think Andrew had one more lap than what he thought he did, with the timing being so close. You're not exactly watching the clock as you're doing these final lap battles. And so he threw it in there one last time.
Okay, so here we go. Timer has expired, so this is it. Last lap. They are coming through turn 3 and 4 now. Westshire up front for all but 3 laps tonight. He's going to win it here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
I'm hearing half a liter left in the leader's tank. And Andrew was even better on fuel. He's reporting a whole liter of fuel. So we thought they were racing too hard, and Andrew's regretting that he wasn't racing hard enough. What a finish for these guys. What a well-managed fuel strategy for these guys. I don't think anybody thought, maybe even including those two, that they had enough to make it. But they still managed to race that hard, build that huge gap, and now Wes is making the donuts.
As he gets a little donut invasion from Robert Shute there.
Thank goodness we're in the virtual world.
Yeah, technical difficulty screen intensifies there. As Westshire is going to get the win here, and that's really going to help him in that championship points battle there with Andrew. Most laps led tonight. Andrew did get the fastest lap of the race, but the win is what matters, and that's how you close down your championship rivals, is finishing ahead on track. And what a show from those two up front. We forgot about the rest of the field. Jason Owens is going to be rounding out your podium in position number 3. James Watson and Simon Fell rounding out the top 5. Stephen Thompson, like we mentioned before, very good run from him. He ends up +7 on his starting position. He did get around Nee Camargo before the end of the race and put Nee into P7, the last car on the lead lap. Zachary Nuremberg is the first car 1 lap down and +7 positions as well from his start. Michael Law in P9, Peter Donchak in P10. Jason Paydu, Dave Sparks, Vic Aldrich, Robert Drew, Rick Cleary, Shane Holstein, all laps off the leader and in losing positions there. So we're just waiting for our podium finishers to hop up into the booth here and get ready. And I guess we'll get started with the guy who finished in 3rd place, the guy who had one of the more, I'd say, less interesting races here, as we bring in Jason Owens, who finishes P3 tonight. Jason, they had enough fuel, so what were you hanging back for there? Just saving a little bit extra? Oh, Jason?
Hello?
Oh, there he is. There he is.
I hit the wrong button. Yeah, so I was just saving. I was, I was hoping they would push each other, and I guess Wes had less than half a liter, and I have no clue how Andrew made it either. Those guys, I'm gonna go with it's the Kevin Smalley, Scott Dixon fuel refiner who was on both of their cars tonight. So, jeez, what a great race. Hope it looked good on the broadcast.
Yeah, you made up a couple of spots there, but really not too much on-track action. The passing was the real difficult bit of the night, and just wanted your thoughts on that, and what you thought of the super competitive racing here for what was the final podium spot.
Yeah, it was super competitive. Made some good strategy calls. Passed one car on track for position. I got around Camargo. He raced super hard and clean there in the first long stint. I gave a couple looks early and didn't quite have it, so I waited till his tires fell off a bit and got around him. And then managed to get Pip Simon in the stops, and it looks like he might have been good when he came in too. So I guess my math is all screwed up.
Hey, you didn't drop out of Purdue for nothing. All right, Jason, thanks for talking to us as always. Good to hear from you. And before we let you go, just want to make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous out there.
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to Riley Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis. Extra Life for Kids, the Indy 360 tomorrow put on by RAL, and we got a new sponsor on board, 3D Wrap. It makes some pretty darn good handbrakes, sequentials, tires, and wheel add-ons. So check them out. And with that, I'm out. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Jason. Thanks for stopping in with us as always. Now we'll bring in the guy who finished P2 and put on the best show of the night. Andrew, you tried and tried, but couldn't get it done. Ultimately, you had to settle for P2. But really good stuff with Wes there. And what are your thoughts on the race there?
Yeah, that outside line is just so strong. It's really hard to get a good run down the inside. I didn't have anything for him. I think I cleared him like once, but he probably had much better tires because I was smoking my right front trying to stay behind him. So, yeah, it was a good effort. I won't complain about second. Definitely could have gone worse, all things considered.
Talk to us for that brief moment you were in front of him. I imagine you were facing a dilemma of do I try to block the inside passing line or I stay on that high line to try to give a better launch out of two. I think you chose that high line and
It did
Wes
not
managed
work
to make
at
it by you.
all.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah,
have
I
tried
should've-
doing the opposite if you had another chance in front of him later on?
Yeah, probably. It would have been. I think his tires were probably just better than mine. My tires were toast at the end of the first pit cycle, so they were better at the second one just because we had those yellows. But I was hurting on tires. So
Speaking of tires hurting, what did you end up on fuel there? It was just around a liter of fuel left, so you had plenty to spare, as you said.
yeah, I knew it, like when you pulled me into the booth during that yellow, I knew it was going to be close. If we had gotten that green like one lap earlier, it would have been extremely tight. I knew once we got the green that like I was good to go because it was about like a liter a minute, and it was like I had like over 13 liters with less than 13 minutes to go. So I knew I was good at that point. My only hope was that extra lap that I had on Wes was enough to put me over, and he had to pit. But turns out he had just enough as well. So
All in all, a good points night for you, though. Don't lose too many to West behind. You will catch up some for winning the race, obviously, but you'll still maintain that championship lead going into Martinsville, which is the next race on the circuit. Just want your thoughts on that. A quick little preview from you. What do you think's going to happen there? How do you think you'll do?
It's a good question. I've run 0 laps at that track in this car, and I think Wes probably has run quite a few. So on just that, he probably has me. Beyond that, we'll see. But yeah, I've run no laps there. It sounds like it'll be difficult to pass, but I don't really. I have no. We'll see on whenever I get some laps in.
No worries, buddy. Thanks as always for talking to us up here. And before we let you go, get all those sponsors and thank yous out there.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for hosting. Thanks for the broadcast, my team, and all that. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for chatting with us. And finally, we'll bring in our race winner, Wes Shire. And man, Wes, I'll tell you, that was some battle you had there with Andrew. But all in all, it looked like you had it under control and ultimately brought you home to victory lane. What were your thoughts there on those final 10 minutes of that race?
That run from the final caution was the hardest I've ever battled anybody in iRacing. That was incredible. I restarted that thinking that I was going to have to pit with about 2 minutes to go in that race. And I just kind of trusted in track position and Andrew to not hit me when the inevitable dive bombs came, and they came. And yeah, I did everything I could to keep him behind and just be as wide as I possibly could there. I love this track. Like I said in the last interview, I kind of got a little outside help from one John Bedifer, who took my set, tweaked it a bit, and then gave me that, and then told me how to drive it, and that made the difference for sure.
Yeah, having the guy who's fighting in the championship battle give you some pointers is never a bad thing. Speaking
Yeah.
of championship, your championship battle looks a little bit better now, getting some points back on Andrew as we head to Martinsville for our next session. Any thoughts going into that race and how you think you'll do?
Yeah, we've never been there. We've had a brief test. I'm definitely going to have to put in a lot of work over the weekend to build a new set from scratch, and I really gotta. Uh, Basically, I just have to win everything from here on out to have a shot at this championship, I think. But yeah, tonight's a good way to get that ball rolling and see where we go from here.
Awesome, Wes. Awesome race from you. Great defensive driving on show from you tonight. And as always, a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Before we let you go, let's hear from all those sponsors and get those thank yous out there.
Yeah, of course. Gotta thank you guys for broadcasting. I know it's this what your first time being the head guy with Graham out for a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm out all by myself, so.
A good job. Thanks for doing that, stepping in and stepping up. And of course, thanks to Jason for putting this all together, and thanks to Homestead Coffee for keeping me awake and alert and actually able to drive this thing on the edge. And just, yeah, really good coffee, really good prices, and really just check them out. And of course, shout out to my other self as a D&D live streamer, now over on Twitch rather than YouTube. You can still find us on YouTube. It just delayed the uploads a little bit. Look for Tales from Rukon, Friday nights, usually around 7:30 Eastern. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome stuff. Wes, thank you as always, and congrats on the win. So, Kevin, with that, that's going to be our evening completed. A great showing around Lucas Oil Raceway, and really a dominant show, but an entertaining one up at the front between the top two in the championship. Looking forward to Martinsville. I believe that is next week. We are running at Martinsville, so quick turnaround for these guys, and we'll see what next week can bring.
That's right. It is next week at Martinsville. After that, towards the end of May, we've got the IMS Roval, and finally to finish us out, Worldwide Tech. So only three chances for Wes to try to claw back that lead from Andrew. But I think these are all three tracks kind of where anything can happen. Martinsville with the small, hard to pass nature, you get a good qualifying, maybe keep behind you, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
So we'll just try and bring up the championship table here, or get an updated points number for you before we go off air, just to give you a number. And again, just giving a shout out to the rest of the field. Another good, clean night of racing. Only a couple of cautions and 2 official length distances run under green flag. Super respectful driving. Good stuff showing from the Shock Series. As always, doesn't look like we're going to have that points update for you. So we'll leave you on the edge of your seats going into Martinsville next week with that championship update, everybody. But other than that, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. And as always, thank you to everybody for tuning in wherever and whenever you are around the world. NRN on YouTube and on Twitch. Make sure to hit those subscribe buttons, hit the bell, share us around so people can know about us and watch the broadcast back. Thanks as always to Chris for running the show tonight. Normally our play-by-play guy, he's a little under the weather, but he's a champ and he came out and helped us out. And for myself and for Kevin Smalley, we will be saying good evening to you all. Have a good night, everybody.